Confirm if audio is clear. YouTube, I need one comment before we start. Microphone check. YouTube microphone check. yekka yasooka ku gundi. Microphone check. DJ, ngenda kugamba.
Hey guys, sorry for the late delay. We are late by like 30 minutes. Nonetheless, it's a big game, eh? Individual players, but international players. Please let us stand for the national anthems of Uganda and Zimbabwe.
National anthems of Uganda and Zimbabwe.
Did you learn? Did you learn?
First of all, to the great people watching from Zimbabwe, I want to pass an apology. The DJ of the venue did play a wrong national anthem. He did play the Malawian national anthem. Once again, please accept my apologies. The DJ did download instead the Malawian national anthem. The match is between a player from Uganda and a player from Zimbabwe. Once again, watching from Zimbabwe, please accept our apologies. In the meantime, this match is supposed to be the biggest of them all, of the matches that are happening in the tour of the two of the finest players traveling thousands of kilometers all the way from Zimbabwe in Southern Africa. On table are the number one ranked players of the different associations that govern the sport in Uganda and Zimbabwe, respectively. On table, there would be match favorite Caesar Chandiga of Uganda. And just watching him queue for now is Malvan Mokonza, nicknamed MALUVA, from Zimbabwe. It is $1,000 at stake, and it is a race to as long as 21. It is going to be a long marathon. It is going to be tight. It is going to be tense. It is going to be competitive. There will be brilliance. There will be clearances. There will be errors. There will be nervousness. There will be apples. There will be failures. There will be misses. There will be octagons. There will be apples, as usual, because that's what happens when Caesar, Uganda's Mr. Apple, takes on MALUVA, Zimbabwe's Mr. Apple. Once again, it is a race to 21. It is the first frame of the match. Caesar is seemingly queuing to go one game up as long as he can cut the yellow ball to the corner pocket, bottom left, bottom right, and still control the white ball enough to maintain a good cue ball for the black ball to the center pocket on the left. It is something that's not easy, but players of this level, it is always possible. As long as there is a will, there is always a way. Here we go. A very crucial shot. This one, he has to be careful of the white ball in a natural. And maybe the fear of Caesar came to pass. He doesn't portable. He leaves some space between his yellow, which is packed right at the corner pocket, and the edge of the jaw of that same pocket for MALUVA to at least pass his ball, to at least start his account. He came with a very serious looking mindset today. He decided simply to look on as Eska played. He didn't play fan of Eska today. He wanted to keep himself focused on his own game. He is known to be one of the best young players on the continent, only in his early 20s, but such a budding top African player. Not the first time MALUVA is taking on Ugandans in action, but the first time in an organized money match. He will have another money match tomorrow against Dog City. That one will also be equally entertaining. But how about his performance in the Grand Mchana Open Championship? The guy came fourth with a tournament that had 128 participants from the entirety of the African continent. All the top black ball playing countries of the continent were in participation, and it is this guy who did lose out in the semi-final to Uganda's Ibrahim Sejemba, and they lost out in the third place match to Tanzania, I beg your pardon. Yes, he did also have a match against another Ugandan in the tournament that happened at Billiards Cafe in Lusaka, dubbed the Billiards Cafe Annual Double Elimination Tournament that is normally organized by another of the best players on the African continent, the Zambian kingpin, Victor Sinyenza. In the tournament, Maluva did exit the competition at the round of last 16, but it is in the round of last 64 that he took down Uganda's Hazard Lukomwa, the player who came second to Caesar in the National Open Championship, and on the day the score was 7-3. He did quest for many matches against Ugandans in Zimbabwe when they did participate in the Queen's Double Elimination competition in Bulawayo, but nobody was willing to have a match with him. And Caesar is starting bullishly, unfortunately. After big spin, big massive shot, and the white ball finding the yellow. The white ball was not good enough to him. He ended up getting it potted to the center pocket on the left, and the end result is a foul with Maluva having an advantage to test first blood on Caesar. He has really been dreaming about this moment, this young man, Maluva. A moment to have a money match with Caesar, a moment to try to take Caesar down in his own homeland. And if Maluva finds a way of winning this money match, which for now is a seeming unlikelihood, it will be, though not in official competition, but one of the highlights of his young but very well decorated career so far. The champion of the Nepal's edition of the Zambian National Open Championship and currently ranked number 1. For a while, he doesn't have a club because his contract with the Tigers Pool Club in the Zimbabwean League expired last season, and now he is the most sought after player in the league, and everybody is looking to who he will play next. The question is, where will Maluva play next? For now, he's playing in Kampala. Just last week, he was playing in Harare. Last year, he did play in Lusaka and Johannesburg. And yet earlier this year, he did play in Qingdao in China, where he was one of the best participants from the African continent in the World Heibo Championships. Of course, behind a few players like the Halide brothers from South Africa. And his now opponent, Caesar. And look at this cue ball action. He is a guy, I think, oozing with confidence. The Luva Motors from Harare, as sometimes he is nicknamed. You just love his confidence, his composure, even his cue action, his game reading, his decision making. He is too young to be mature to this extent. He has an option to go slow and then have an angle to cut the black ball rightly to the corner, to the center pocket on the left of your screen, which will go him 1-0 up. There we go. Maluva 1, Caesar 0. For the moment, as I speak, Brian doesn't have energy to flip the scoreboard. He will have no option. He must flip it, despite the fact that it is not Caesar in the lead. The crowd instructs him to go, and there he abides. Maluva 1, Chandiga 0.
bava mu Uganda n'ava Yugoslavia. Yalusanya ne luggwayo era commentator naye.
In terms of long races, in terms of money matches, in terms of international competitions, where the only competition besides pride is money. The player with the best string of results accumulated is this guy on table, Chandiga Caesar. His first international money match was held just 1.5 years ago in Kampala, a long race to 21 with $2,000 at stake, in which case he went down 21-20 to Aiden Joseph of South Africa. The same player did quest for a rematch with the same player. He was brave enough to follow up Aiden all the way to Nairobi in Kenya with a with double the stake, but the same race, a different venue, that is Mchana Pub and Grill, under the mentorship that time of Jim Kush. And Caesar did make perfect revenge on Eden again in a race to 21, again in a decider 21-20, this time with Caesar winning. And yet by the time the Grand Mchana Open Championship happened, the two players decided to have a third edition of the same match, again with $4,000 at stake, again a race to 21, again at Mchana Pub and Grill in Nairobi in Kenya, again Caesar versus Eden, again it ended in a decider, again Caesar won 21-20. The differences between the two players came to be sorted in Johannesburg, this time Eden's own home country. Again a race to 21, again $4,000 at stake, this time Caesar winning, but not by a decider 21-18. He did win that match. He has also had a number of money matches against other South African players like Thami, like Ganda, like Filani Nkosi Mazambani. He did have money matches in Tanzania, in Zimbabwe, in Kenya, in Uganda, so many times. But this should be the first time against a Zimbabwean. The only player who has a bigger head-to-head performance statistic over Caesar is South Africa's Jeremiah Naido, against whom, after about 80 money matches, Jerry has 5 wins compared to Caesar's 3. But for now, Caesar is up against a top player, oozing with quality and confidence at a very young age. 2 very young men, by the way. I don't know Caesar as a 23-year-old. Maluva looks maybe slightly around the same age, if not younger, but what a talent. If he can find a way of winning, it will not be easy at all, because Caesar is a very predictable character on the table. When he's to pounce on you, you clearly know. When he has a score to settle, he is at home, he has money to win, he has pride to fight for, he has a reason to try and beat this guy. He wouldn't stand it if he lost this match. By the way, should Maluva win, he could rematch with Caesar for an even bigger stake. That is how confident the Luva Motors Express from Harare is in this one. And so far, his kind of performance, these first 2 frames so far, is a clear warning sign to all other Ugandans against whom he's about to face his tour. Accurate shooting, slow, confident, but composed, on target, 2-0. Brian will flip the scoreboard, but with a very tough face. Looks the score at the scoreboard as if the scoreboard is about to eat him. To Maluva, it doesn't matter. He's enjoying so far. A 2-0 lead is not a comfortable lead, but nonetheless, it is a lead, and it is a very, very, very crucial thing to do when your opponent is Caesar. Do not allow him to have a very big gap at the break, because a time comes in the match when he's simply unplayable. He is the latest acquisition of the Advanced Talent Agency, and I know that you are watching. Director Hakim Chigundu, you are in Harare. You are probably with Francis. Francis is supporting Maluva, and you are supporting your Caesar. And some news is about to come to be made official that players of the Advanced Talent Agency are about to become the first set of Ugandans this year to participate in the Ultimate Pool Championship, which will be happening in Morocco in October this year, with Caesar being one of them, Dog City being the other. That is the kind of mileage that Ugandan pool is so far benefiting from the Advanced Talent Agency. For Caesar, the score is not on his side, and the break is not. Once again, Caesar 0, Maluva 2. One critical aspect of Maluva's game, which you notice at the very first time of asking, is maximum composure. And I really want to thank you, Nevson Select Aggregates Company from Harare, and Jaden, the manager of these two guys, for working together to ensure that these guys are air ticketed in time and are fed and accommodated and well catered for at a very big cost. And yet it is Africa now receiving this very beautiful entertainment between a player who, in my opinion, is one of the guys we can call the future of African pool. In my opinion, I rate Maluva that high. Welcome back from that match between Dog City and Eshka. It was a very fantastic match. Eshka did make a very beautiful comeback, but it was too late. But the fact that he was able to win 13 games is very special. And yet he at one time was about 7-1 down. The players were briefed that they would have timeout only after every 10 games if they wanted. So at 2-0, 3-0, 4-1, 5-3, no timeout. It can only come after 10 games. If it is before the 10th frame, it can only be granted upon request if there is an emergency. He has some very little details on the white ball, and I'm meaning very little shots which have so many details. You wouldn't imagine he potted and very slowly using the white ball to maintain a good white for the next ball, and yet ensure that he doesn't get the black ball locked up. A big smile on the face of Eshka, because his best friend is queuing wonderfully well and delivering the goods thousands of kilometers away from home. Harare, where he did come, in Kampala, where he is impressing so far. A crowd that are so far impressed by what they are seeing of this young man. Malvan Makonza 3, Caesar Chandiganil, rest 21. It is early days yet, but if you are watching from Zimbabwe, you have reason to believe And Eshka is calling upon Brian to flip the scoreboard against his own will, and Brian does with a very plastic smile. A smile that is not coming from deep within his heart, but nonetheless forcing himself to smile. Maluva 3, Caesar nil. I'm welcoming everybody to the stream from wherever you are watching. And thank you for allowing me to be the guy that is presenting to you this very special match, in my opinion, between a guy who is deciding to grab the bull by the neck, trying to take down Africa's battle king on his own table, his own ground, in his own country, instead in front of his own fans and his own scoreboard keeper. And I know that the internet is flooded with online viewers from the great country of Zimbabwe. Welcome to the stream from wherever you're watching, where Maluva is coming from in Bulawayo, and others watching from Chitungwiza, and so many of you in Marondera, so many of you watching from Chimanimani. I know that many are in Masvingo and Kadoma and the Belt Bridge and Manikaland and Matebele North and Mashonaland and Kwekwe and Mutare, and from wherever you're watching in between those cities where you are watching and supporting and hoping and praying for Maluva to take down Caesar. And then spark of celebration. I know that you will be drinking the night away should something of the sort come to pass as a reality. And I know that Caesar deep in his mind is still confident that he could anytime turn this around. I'm one person who normally sees Caesar so many times that I do believe that these money matches are equally balanced only when Caesar is down at the start. For this one, he is down at the start, and for once I believe that this may feed us with a balanced match. But I do know that there will come at a time in this same match that Caesar will start playing alone. He normally has a sequence of games which are normally consecutive games with himself playing alone and winning all through. That time I do think will come. So far, not so much. And that will not go down as a very good shot. The only ball he can see clearly is a yellow ball closest to your screen, which will need a sharp cut to roll to the corner pocket bottom right, but moving the white ball the other side of the table to maintain a good white ball for the second yellow to the center pocket on the right is not something so obvious. But with Caesar, it may be obvious sometime. That is class. He can see the yellow. The only problem is that the white ball is touching the edge of the cushion, and yet in a normal shot, he may deny himself good white ball for the black. Maybe a little top spin to put the same black ball to the court closest to your screen on the left in a normal shot, just with a little top spin. just like that. As if he even has enough passage of the black to the center ball. He's to the center pocket. He's acting as though maybe off the red, maybe direct. Goes off the red and sinks it in. And there goes Brian with his comics. He's asking Eshka to flip the scoreboard on his behalf. And it will be part of the entertainment. Eshka refuses here. Nonetheless, he will. He loves Maluva to win. But he's equally friends with Caesar as well. There we go. Maluva 3, Caesar 1. Before the fifth game is done, we already have a combined total of 3,000 people viewing this match from near and far on Break and Finish Live, Facebook and YouTube respectively. Already the third most watched match in African pool history already, and yet it is threatening maybe even the second position. Thank you, Africa, for this wonderful sign of publicity accorded to these players and the sport, and making myself as a streamer a little more relevant. For those watching on YouTube, please don't forget to like the video. If you're watching on Facebook, don't forget to like the video, because the more you like it, the more Facebook and YouTube respectively recommend the same video to other viewers, the more the video spreads like a wildfire, the more famous these players become. The bigger stars they become, the more sponsorship packages they stand to get, because they do know that when their games come live, they do have the numbers, which is exactly what sponsors need from stars as Maluva, from stars as Caesar. Just early this week, Caesar did secure a deal, becoming the latest recruit as the player from Uganda's biggest players management team, the Advanced Talent Agency. I don't want to give you too much detail, but now he's officially Uganda's most expensive player. Just from that deal, and part of the deal, he is headed for Morocco later this year to participate in Ultimate Pool as the very first Ugandan ever, together with his teammate Rashid Wagaba Dog City, also of the Advanced Talent Agency. Shepard Mulea, thank you for watching. Spina Kenny from Facebook, Tafizwa Christian Katana, Mazwi Kotilele from Lesotho, welcome to the stream. Jericho Moyo, you're watching from Botswana. Amos Shakasara, you're watching from Southern Africa. Watley Motondo, you're watching from Zambia, you're supporting Caesar. Stanley Ink Master Malunga, you're watching from South Africa. Who do you support, Stanley, in this one? Namanya. The YouTube audience did have a little network hiccup. I understand it is now sorted. Still, my apologies. As Maluva is trying to play catch up here, not that for his teammate, for the Nevsan aggregate, for Francis Mukwekwe, for Boss Jaden, and for millions who are watching, who are rather supporting him thousands of kilometers away back home. And I have to admit, he is queuing exceptionally well so far. And even Caesar being Caesar, even if he's in his own country, he will have to be at his absolute best if he's to take down Maluva. Normally, his absolute best Caesar comes down in long races like this, normally when he has a score to settle. That was a very brilliant piece of skill, but white ball was slightly inaccurate. He needed the white ball to move just by a centimeter more. He would be good to go, but even then, you think that he has what it takes to go for either of the corner pockets closest to your screen, on the left or the right. He goes for the one on the right. He needs a very sharp cut. He needs to be wary of his white ball. He's focusing. He's on target. He puts Maluva 4, Chandiga 1, race to 15. Oh, am I already getting tired? Race to 21. It will be a long night for Maluva. It will be a long night for Caesar. It will also be a long night for myself. I have to take many breaks, sipping my favorite juice, regaining my energy, and then returning with commentary. In the meantime, the Luva Motors from Harare is leading against the Scorpion from Uganda 4-1. Once again, welcome to the stream, Rita Kobusinje, Second Alfred, Prince Mokandwire. You're watching from Chilobia in Gaza Street, that is Zambia. Welcome to the stream, Maria Mobata supporting Maluva. For the first time, it is looking as if there is a lively streamed match on the internet where there is Caesar as one of the guys on table, and he has almost exactly the same amount of support as his opponent. It is not something that comes every now and again, but many of the times when he's playing Caesar, he has many people supporting him from Zimbabwe. Today they are supporting against him because it is their own on the table. A very lovely dude, Maluva, not just on the table, but also as a person. You want to think that given the way he conducts himself, he has a very bright future in this game. Very similar with Caesar, both in the same age bracket, both very talented, both very humble and down to earth, and both hold the future of the sport in their respective countries. Nasa Legacy, you're watching from Ghana. Well, you think Caesar will win 21-17, and you are rightly calling him the Scorpion, and it is so lovely the fact that this game is followed as far as Ghana this regularly. Nowadays, so many comments coming from Ghana. Isaac Agaba, what is Caesar trying to do here? He pots a ball. He's using all of his strength and energy and skill and thought, all the determination that he has used to win many matches in Uganda and Kenya and Tanzania and South Africa and Zambia and Zimbabwe. He will need all of that combined to beat Maluva. And you think that for this one against Maluva, it's not just about the money. He has to keep his respect intact, especially in front of his own supporters on his table, with his management team in presence, with his when I saw with the guy who normally streams his games, the guy is streaming. There we go. Just about to make it 4-2 here. Still playing catch up. A very well fought game, lots of energy, lots of skill, and at the end he seals it off with a pot of a black, and Brian does shout words of encouragement to Caesar. Nonetheless, Caesar 2, Maluva 4. Race to 21. It is still morning hours of the game. It is not yet afternoon. It's not yet evening. It's not yet night. It is only the start. Caesar 2, Maluva 4.
Come on, Caesar. Finish him, finish him. Finish him. Somebody Caesar. Come on, Caesar, man. These things are for every day. Wherever they see, let's call out here. These things are for every day. They should pay you for teaching them things.
Yes, just took some while to kind of bring Brian into order. His role is simply to flip the scoreboard, not to make any kind of noise, even in celebration. And we are back. If you're just joining, this game is being streamed on two platforms at the same time: Break and Finish Live Facebook and Break and Finish Live YouTube. The video on Facebook is horizontal, the video on YouTube is diagonal, but commentary is exactly the same. It is a result of the arrival of a team from Zimbabwe in Malvan Mokonza Maluva as Caesar Fowles and Eshka Chimbwanda Mzamo, who are having series of money matches and tournament participation and training sessions yet to come in what is dubbed the Maluva and Eshka Tour of Uganda. Proudly sponsored by the Nevis and Select Aggregates Company in Zimbabwe, together with boss Jaden, also coordinated by fellow streamer of the Q Pixels photography platform, Francis Slim Mukwekwe. But then Francis, tell me in the comment section if you're coming from Kwekwe. If you are Mukwekwe because you are coming from Kwekwe, I need to know that. It's not a very serious thing, but I just need to know. If you do, I will reward you. At the venue where we are, the name is Dice Lounge. And it is a very peaceful audience. They are not even making their noise, any noise like they normally do for Caesar. It seems he has made them become too confident about him, as if they know what is about to happen, as if they already know when the match starts that Caesar is about to win. They simply know that anytime he will be winning. In fact, there are side bets going on amongst fans at the arena, and they are only having one thing to bet. They are giving imaginary head start to Maluva. Some +5, some +6, but only imaginary head start for the side betting. But he's queuing as though he doesn't need the imaginary head start because he's seemingly able to win by himself on merit. I've not yet seen him in a long race. So far, he's queuing exceptionally well. What I don't know is if he can last the entire duration of a race to 21, still maintaining this good queuing ability, which Caesar has demonstrated many times before that is more than able to. He has won a number of races to 21 against Jerry, against Eden, against Tammy, against Abdallah Hussein in their respective countries, those guys besides Jerry. He has also played a race to 25 against Jerry and has won it comfortably. Welcome to the stream, Billy White on Facebook. Second Alfred on YouTube. Jiron Cabo on Facebook. Kip Curry Leonard on YouTube. Ivan Ayala on YouTube. One of Dennis on Facebook. Joel Choka on Facebook. Kobsin Yerita on YouTube. Perry Emmanuel on YouTube. KKTV Uganda on YouTube. Betty Tabitha on Facebook. Valeria Crush on Facebook. Prominent Man Zim. You are saying good morning to me. It's not morning, but you say I'm your favorite commentator. I'm really humbled by that kind word. You are a bit confused on who to support, either Caesar or your fellow Zimbabwean Maluva. If you're Zimbabwean, please do support Maluva. Don't be like a guy who is called Mariza Sifomakans, who is always getting problems in South Africa because of supporting Caesar when he's playing against fellow South Africans like Eden and Jerry. Because if you do, you will be blocked from calling top players or WhatsApping them, because that is what now Mariza has to go through. A little bit insufficient, the energy he uses Maluva on the white ball. He can see the red ball, but he will need a very sharp cut of the same ball that you are not so sure that he will maintain a good white ball. He drags the white ball. That is one of the best pieces of skill that I'm seeing in this match. Top-notch skill from Maluva, allowing the white ball with too much energy, bouncing off the cushion and yet dragging it off as if the white ball is drunk. It loses the energy and maintains a very good white ball on the black with the shot of the match so far, without a shade of a doubt, from the Harare Motors. Maluva 5, Caesar 3. Brilliant. Maluva is going over to Caesar's camp simply to get tips from Caesar's management team. They do love good pool. Someone quickly crop out that video and share it, the video of that shot, and share it to your status, your TikTok account. It is more Caesar's fans when you see Maluva going across the arena. He's getting tips from fans. Ugandan fans do love their game. They do love their players, but they do love good players. And everything they are saying about Maluva so far is nothing short of impressive. 5 for Maluva, 3 for Caesar, rest to 21. I just want to say hi to one of the managers around, Manager Miti. Thank you for coming today. You are so late.
You know the traffic jam in Kampala, and most especially towards the weekend, it's always like that. But yesterday was early. You remember when we were at?
You're a busy guy. Thank you for that hospitality. By the way, Miti is always driving Maluva and Eska around the place, especially to and from their money matches. Thank you for that support.
Pleasure is all mine. We hope to get the same treatment when we go to Zimbabwe, because these are our players. They're not only they're our African players, the ones we have.
Can I tell you one thing?
Yes.
When the entire Ugandan team went to Bulawayo for that Queen's Comp,
yes,
they were all accommodated in the home of one of the leaders in Zimbabwe. He's called Wisdom Mondike, and I was one of the people who stayed there for a full 2 weeks. His house, a beautiful home in Bulawayo, just became our house. We were there speaking Luganda day in and out and playing pool every
I lived
now and
in
then.
South Africa, in the southern part. They're quite hospitable, and Zimbabweans, by the way, I would love to say thank you to the gentleman you talked about. I'd love to be there, and soon I think we'll meet, because I lived in Southern Africa, in South Africa, and everything was quite good.
One strange thing about you, you drive your car from Kampala to Johannesburg. How can you do that?
I love seeing people. I love meeting people. I love flying. I've been flying for almost 35 years, so I love meeting people. You miss the fun when you fly, you know?
Yeah.
Yes.
Otherwise, thank you for coming.
Pleasure.
Enjoy your game.
Prediction. You know, always Caesar finishes the unfinished business. I don't think, and you know, with people from Southern Africa, he has conquered them so much.
I believe he has conquered there.
But I know the boy is playing well. Actually, even the supporting is the support is
nice. It's respectable. They respect him.
Yes. And but we're up for the challenge. Thank you very much, Chove.
That is my good friend, Manager Miti. He's one of the guys who have been managing Lobola Simon, the computer, the guy who defeated Eshka in yesterday's money match in Kampala. We are watching the continuation of an international money match with $1,000 at stake between two players who are the best in their respective countries. From Zimbabwe, the guy on table is MALUVA Mokonza, nicknamed MALUVA. From Uganda, the home player is Caesar Chandiga, nicknamed the Scorpion, who is currently down 5-4 in a long race to 21. Where we are, the place is now full to capacity. In fact, many of the fans can only watch the match on a giant screen. They can hardly get a place to sit anywhere near the table. The beauty is that there are thousands more watching this action on Facebook, Break and Finish, and YouTube, Break and Finish, respectively. Caesar 4, MALUVA 5, race to 21.
Okay. If it's not okay, then it's all right. With you, everything is fine. Yes, Caesar. I am not worried.
There's some kind of saying in Uganda that the white ball is drunk. The penultimate shot that Caesar played on the red ball, he made the white ball to behave as if it were acting drunk. And yet he's making it, or maybe another of his clearances. Maybe not, maybe not, maybe not. He misses Caesar. Is it because he has maybe somewhat, somehow a little fear for Maluva, the way he has been delivering in his clearances so far? And how about this for a pending clearance for Maluva? This is the 10th frame of the match. It is very crucial for you when you are a player not to be down, to be the guy in the lead at the end of each quarter. The match has 4 quarters, each having 10 games. This is the end of the first quarter. Advantage Maluva now. Caesar was playing to equalize, make it 5-5 before the first pending break for the players, if at all they ask for it. If they do not, we shall proceed anyway. I would imagine that these two boys, Maluva and Caesar, should Maluva find a way of winning this game, I'm not even sure they could even sleep. They will just be too happy and too excited because they will have made thousands excited. Taurai Mosendo, you are watching, supporting Maluva. I do have another Zimbabwean friend, Taurai Machue. He's proud Zim. Normally watches from Ireland where he works. And I know, while he loves Caesar, this time there are national interests at heart. He will want to drag the white ball rightwards, like that. He's a very brilliant young man. Believe you me. He actually whispered to me that after Caesar, he has what he called unfinished business with Ibra. That one should be coming up mid next week at either this venue or another venue called Roxbury in Mukono. Because Maluva told me that defeat onto him by Ibra in the semi-finals of the Grand Michana Open still hurts up to now, and wants to finally take Ibra down in his own country. And I know that Ibra is watching this match, and I know that he's scouting upon him, and I know that he's listening to what Maluva has to say, and will have to respond, but only on the table. And what about this? For a perfect shot on the black ball, a guy who is away from home with only one person with whom he can share a language, with hardly any home advantage to enjoy, and it seems to be queuing so wonderfully. 6-4, Maluva up.
That guy will start doing things when you perfect over. You leave him. You just finish forward. You leave him.
Ten games played, the players have rightly decided that they don't need the break. But after the 10th frame, anytime any of them will want a time break, the other will have no option, then they will be given their 3 minutes. They will do have a total number of timeouts, 4 for the match, if at all they want them. Definitely they want them because they are just human. You can't go the entire length of 41 games without having any timeout. The problem with playing against Caesar is sometimes you may take too much energy to win a series of games, and he makes it too simple to rub them all away. Just like that, Maluva's lead is cut from 2 to 1 because it's now 6-5 with Maluva still in the lead. So it is a continuation of the first time out of the match. The players have 3 minutes. So far they've used 1. In 2 minutes the match will be resuming or less. And indeed Maluva is back.
Okay, sir.
Caesar. How much Caesar, man?
Once again, after that break of mine, not a very simple thing, keeping yourself talking for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours. Nonetheless, some of these guys play well enough that even talking is not tiresome anymore. That's exactly what Maluva and Caesar are treating those of us who are at the venue and many of you who are watching online so far. As Maluva plays a penultimate yellow for the 7th time in the game so far, he has been so clinical every time he has been reaching the black. His quality has been there for all to see. With the kind of game that is giving Caesar the hardest time of any other player who has ever taken him on in a money match in Uganda with no head start attached against Caesar. Maluva versus the black for time number 7. He will most definitely be sinking in, which he does, and leads 7-5 against the Scorpion. And I know that celebrations are a little bit in order after that game from wherever you're watching in Zimbabwe. Those of you who are at the Victoria Falls at Livingstone alongside the border with Zambia. Those of you who are watching around Lake Kariba, those of you who are at the Hwange National Park, those of you who are watching at the Mana Pools, those of you who are at the Matobo Hills and other places where Zimbabwe is so famous for. This time Zimbabwe is showcasing its best talent on the pool table. Who is up against the best talent from the country of Uganda? And the Zimbabwean is the one who is in the lead away from home. Caesar to break. Ricky D supporting Luva. Mavis Fafi Danford Dede from Hwange National Park, Ashford Katera, Tao Tona, David Sharumbira, JV Marau, Solomon Jr., Sirambasha Lincoln. It seems people are really flooding in the comment section, and indeed the entire stream with so many of you watching from the great Republic of Zimbabwe. I want to assure you that your boy, or will I say your boys, are being taken well care of to the best, or in the best way that Ugandan hospitality can ever offer. They are having some Ugandan meals in between. I made sure that they did test a Ugandan delicacy called Rolex. It was new to them. Mixture of what is called chapati with flour with fried eggs and the tomato and onions. They also did test what we call matoke, plantain boiled and steamed, and they were seeing it for the first time. And yet here it is a staple food, especially in central Uganda. They had never seen it before. Eshka does love his rice. He will take it anytime, any day of the week, even though he's watching a match between his best friend and Caesar. He would love to take his rice. And while Maluva likes his saza, the staple food of Africa. Here in Uganda, you call it posho. In Kenya and Tanzania, ugali. In Zambia, in shima. In South Africa, pap. He has two shop options here, Maluva. Pot yellow definitely to the center pocket on the right. He could go for white ball rolling around the edges of the table to put both black and yellow to the same center pocket, but maybe he will want to use the corner pocket, bottom left. But this one will come with more difficulty. If he's so careless, he could even get the white ball put into the same center pocket. But he could also go for precision and try to roll that ball. He has been successful with this corner pocket so far. There he goes. Master of the table right now, as if he has been living in this country and playing on this table every day. He has a 3-game lead, a 3-game cushion, a 3-game difference against the Scorpion, who is supposed to be the favorite coming into this match because of how many money matches, how many battles, how many long races he has won against players who are even ahead of Maluva in the pecking order of the top players of Africa. And yet he is leading away from home. Malvan Mokonza 3. No, Malvan Mokonza 8, Caesar Chandiga 5-3 is only the goal difference. Everything's okay. Thank you for watching. Neurofan, you're supporting Caesar Tonga in Rwanda. You say Maluva is your boy. And Marwana, I want to say that your boy is so far making you proud. The chosen one of Zimbabwe. You are waving your hundreds of Zimbabwean flags in the comment section of the YouTube stream. And I do believe you. I do understand you. I understand you. It's understandably right. James Togara. You are in Lusaka. You're saying Lusaka Nibora. Richard Obama. Dashius Mark. You say Maluva is playing for his Eshka's pride and his yes. It is only a match between two individuals, but an international match with their respective nations at heart. These players. KKTV Uganda saying sawa yonna. Today Mureba John. You're asking who bets Caesar? I don't know what you mean. But side betting for the audience, just inbox yourselves. There's a facility that could come up, an application where you guys could make side bets against yourselves and then you are paid automatically. It's an application that is being built from anywhere. For us, we don't have to know who is betting against who. An app is being built where you guys can side stake against each other with money as low as $1. For instance, you can say that this one is winning, the other says the other is winning, and then the winner gets their $2 automatically. Wilson Musinguzi, you say your time is coming and you think Caesar will win. I've seen him come from behind in a money match which was way even bigger than this one. He was even away from home. We were in Nairobi at the Mchana Pub and Grill when Eden Joseph in a race to 21 did lead 20 to 17, and yet the match was won by Caesar by 21 to 20. I do believe that he will still be believing that he has it within himself to come from behind to take down Maluva. But if Maluva continues queuing as good as he is so far, even Caesar being Caesar must be at his absolute best. And it is tense moments for these players, for the Ugandan fans who are gathered all around their phones and the television, wherever they can get a glance of this action, and praying that Caesar doesn't let them down this time. He very rarely does let them down when he's up in battle. In money matches, especially against players who are non-Ugandan. The only player on the African continent who has a better head-to-head performance statistic than Caesar in money matches is South Africa's Jeremiah Naido Ganda, against whom the two have played 8 money matches, with Jerry winning 5 and Caesar 3, because they faced off in Kampala thrice, in Dar es Salaam twice, and in South Africa, and in Bulawayo. And from Arua to Gulu to Kampala to Jinja to Lira to Soroti and everywhere in between, they are hoping that the Scorpion does make them proud like he normally does. And yet all the way from Murehwa and Shamva and the headlands and Mangula and Vuri and Mashava and Chakari and Venice and Mukumbura and Mazoe and everywhere from Bulawayo to Harare, even Gweru, and all the cities that make up the beautiful Republic of Zimbabwe has fans who are chanting and hoping and expecting and praying that the Harare Express, the Luva Motors, Maluva, Zimbabwe's Mr. Apple, who is so far living up to the billing of his name, especially with game opening shots like that one, that he could make them proud once again. This game shall be won by whoever of these two players reacts best to the situation of the corner pocket, bottom left of your screen. It has Maluva's red occupying the pocket. It has two of Caesar's yellows right behind. And with the 15th game being played, we hit the 4,000 mark. Watching live on Facebook and YouTube combined with 3,100 on Facebook and 900 on YouTube. Thank you once again, Africa. Let's keep pushing this one. Let's keep recommending it to others. Let's keep sharing this video. Let it spread like a wildfire. Let the talents of Caesar and Maluva become the toast of the African continent and beyond. And let their talents go as far as the world far itself. And please brace yourselves, we are not yet even midway there. It is a marathon. We are only in the mid-morning of this match, or maybe we are starting with the afternoon of this match. We are not yet into the evening, and we are not yet in the night. Nox Bassa supporting and watching and hoping that Maluva wins. Ernest Moza, you are Zim 1. No, actually you are saying that Maluva is Zim 1, and you are saying he is your horse. He's trying out a defensive shot that could give him an opportunity to take away this game from Caesar to increase his lead. Caesar will be hoping to keep himself within touching distance. You would imagine that is the skill or the mindset he should be having in his mind for the current duration of the match, simply to keep himself within a touching distance of Maluva, and then hoping to use his usual bullish nature, Caesar. When the right time comes to win 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games in a row, one thing I have in my mind is that time shall come. Tomorrow, it will be Dog City to test the might of Maluva. What a game that one will be. A shorter race to 16. So far, Maluva is proving to me that he is a racer, but as a very long racer, I really don't know. So what is about to come, I don't know. Because I know for the fact that Caesar is one of the best long racers on the African continent, if not the very best. Zimbabwean polo is not synonymous with very long races. It takes a lot of stamina. It is so mind-boggling. It is tiresome, both in mind and in body and the hands. It involves all of your strengths and weaknesses, all of the aspects of your game in offense and tactic and technique and mind come into play in a long race. It involves clearances, it involves slow tactical and games like this one. You have to come out on top in all or most of those situations if you are to win a long race. So if Maluva can stand the test of time, still needs a big shot Maluva here. Like I've said before, I still maintain the thought that whoever acts well, whoever responds to that situation of the corner pocket top left will win the frame. And I want to be corrected that the front ball, the top ball, the same pocket is Caesar's and not Maluva's. And Smoza praying to God to bless Maluva. Mugisha David, you want me to come to Rwanda? I hope I get a chance. The pocket is open, and now this is the situation where we are at. Where will the white rest? Unfortunate for Caesar. White ball intercepts the movement of the red and leads Caesar's red to be touching Maluva's yellow. And yet it is the only red that Caesar has to play. He has no choice but to open up the game, and yet it is very unlikely that he will pot. The situation is advantage Maluva. Almost. A very wonderful recovery from Caesar, which didn't come to pass by a whisker. He missed the bank of that red ball to the corner pocket, leaves the red ball parking, and you think that Maluva has a chance to go 4 games up in Kampala, in front of Caesar's own darling fans, in front of Caesar's new management team, and yet a seeming shocker is on the cards here. And should Maluva find a way of winning this match, it will be a statement of intent that he wants to join the group of the big boys on the African continent, the Edens, the Jerrys, the Caesars. And what about that for a drag of the white ball? Lessening the energy in the white ball after bouncing off the cushion, and an effortless spot of the black ball, and an increase in the lead. Caesar 5, Maluva 9. Apologies for that little break in video, especially those who are watching on Facebook. It's because there were some music copyright infringement issues, and indeed when the players do get a timeout, I will have to break the video and then restart it. Because now it can't even zoom into the game entirely. But you are watching Maluva with double scores now, double figures will I say, and leading 10-5 against Caesar. He did tell me, Maluva, yesterday in a whisper that he thinks if he were to stay in Uganda for about 3 months, he will start winning comp after comp after comp, and he will use the money to start up a pool arena in Kampala. He looked at the players and said he has what it takes to take them down and take them down all. And yet in his first money match, he's starting with the best of them all. And this performance so far is a shockwave to all other players he is facing after Caesar. Personally, I already knew before today about his very big talent, his capabilities, but the level of composure he is exhibiting so far is out of this world for a guy this young. That was a risky, somewhat desperate shot. Caesar survives. Maluva will have his mind on that corner pocket, top left. One of those games where you think it is the situation at the table, at that part of the table, given the positioning of the two reds and the yellow which is in front of them, and whoever handles that situation better will most probably win this match. He's trying to play combination shot by his stance and stroke and body language to try and put both yellow and red to the same pocket. Changes his mind, gets a new position of his white ball. A defensive player will play their red ball behind the yellow, just avoiding to foul and then leave it then and ask the opponent to do something about it. Maluva seems to be playing to have a pile of reds and yellows together, just to make it a little bit uncomfortable for Caesar to make a clearance. He knows that Caesar is so good when the game is open. He knows that he stands a better chance when he takes some games offensive, some games defensive. He knows that while he is on away soil, that thousands are watching from near and far and hoping that he wins. And with the majority of comments now in Shona and in the belly, some of them I can read because still they are Bantu languages. Of the white ball drawing it backwards to the mid of the table. That is the popular scorpion stance on the table from Caesar. Backspin, scorpion, accurate. Caesar 6, Maluva 10. For Facebook, I am restarting the video. My apologies. The video is having something not right. I am restarting it. It's coming back in 1 minute. Yes, 7-10. Maluva leading against Caesar. We are having a 3-minute timeout after then.
Come.
ngenda kuba mulaba wano naye kati okulaga ebbaati nange abantu balaba banyinyaza endaga bbaati nakyo tekimira ngenda kujjayo nga mulaba bw'avaayo nga nkwatawo mu maaso
Madamu bw'aba avaayo tugamba bakwatako abantu
We are back. Welcome back, Africa. Welcome back to Showdown. It is now the mid morning, or will I say the afternoon, of an ongoing consequential money match between two of the best players from their respective nations, all the way from Zimbabwe in Harare. Malvan Mokonza, nicknamed MALUVA, the Luva Motors, is having a surprise 10-7 lead away from his home at Caesar's table, in Caesar's country, in front of Caesar's own home fans, in a race to 21 for 1,000 US dollars. And yet he breaks and gets to pot a ball. And what a first to an opening 2 hours of this match, which showed all of the strengths of MALUVA, in which he was able to get into the first big time out of the match in a consequential lead against Caesar. What is left to see is if he can stand the test of time, if he can last the entire race to 21 with him still being able to be calm and composed in attack, in offense, in defense, in shots, in execution, in perfection, and in winning. So far, in my opinion, I would say he has ticked all the boxes because he's up against arguably the best long racer on the continent, the guy with the best record in money matches on the African continent, especially when taking on a fellow of the top African players elsewhere on the continent, the likes of Eden Joseph and Jeremiah Green and Ibrahim Sejemba and Bwanika Mansour and Abdallah Hussein and Innocent Sami and Rashid Wagawa and Victor Sinyinza, amongst others. And yet it is MALUVA in the lead. He's just had a very deep breath. Just after that last shot, maybe he thinks he's about to play a very big shot here. One rumor, we call it Lugambo here, which I want to tell you about, is that there are so many guys who did give an imaginary head start to MALUVA as they did their side bets. Of course, Ugandans betting on Caesar, giving imaginary +6 to MALUVA. And it seems Caesar is so far not ticking the boxes to make them money on that front. Now they are changing their bets. They are betting, majority of them, on MALUVA to defeat Dog City tomorrow, irrespective of what happens in this match. They believe that he has it in him, what it takes to defeat Dog City tomorrow, same time, same venue, a smaller race, but still intriguing. He needs a big shot here. He can see the top yellow ball using the white ball. He'll use the white ball to open up even the second yellow as well as the black, just like that. I'm not so sure he can see the middle yellow enough. It will be the best shot for him to put to the corner pocket, diagonally top right of your screen. If he can sink that one in, maybe with a little backspin, he will be home and dry, in my opinion, for the 11th. Given how well he's composed and how his queuing has been, and white ball movement and game composure and stance and stroke, you think this one is also in the bag. And look at this. Speaking to the white ball, sometimes making it to listen to him as if it understands his own language, in stop shooting, in top spin, in back spin, inside spin. So far from MALUVA, it is so good. Just like that. It was not an open game after the break. It's not a game he had full right to go for. Nonetheless, he did believe in himself from the time out after going a game down and he pulls that game back and regains a 4-game lead and starts to get a round of applause from the Ugandan fans. Caesar 7, Maluva 11, rest to 21. The beauty of this game is that two friends can take on each other as if they are sworn enemies. Now there is no smile between Caesar and Maluva. I did look at them when they were having their time out. Caesar with his management team and Maluva with his own friend Eska, and a few Ugandans who have started to fall in love with how he's queuing across the road. And then Caesar just in the quadrangle of the venue, just having a little chat. Maluva sipping his water, Caesar simply washing his face and having some words from his management team and hoping to come back from the timeout and start to mount a big comeback which will regain him the respect that he is at very big risk, especially by the complexion of the match so far. It has been one game after the timeout that has been won by Apple by single visit clearance from Maluva, and that he's trying to make it a second in a row. One of the characteristics of a game that could be won by someone is where that same someone is in the lead and then the opponent gets the timeout and then back in. The player who was in the lead starts from where he stopped. You wonder what the opponent could do more or could do better. Someone who normally supports Caesar, just say your name and say hi to the viewers.
Hello everyone, my name is Nemsima Rita and I'm here to see my brother winning this, as I'm sure he's going to win.
Can you see the scoreboard?
Yeah, I'm seeing it.
You are confident he'll win, eh?
Yes, why not?
Okay, that is Rita, one of the top players, ladies category Africa has ever produced. Guys watching on Facebook, I believe the situation is going to be clear. I'm giving it this game. If you watch it still with the breaking effects on the top of your screen, then I will restart the video, and the restarted video